This podcast is sponsored by Talkspace.
Last year, I went through many different life changes. I needed to take a pause and examine how I was feeling in the inside to better show up for the ones who need me to be my best version of myself.
When you're navigating life's changes, Talkspace can help. Talkspace is the #1 rated online therapy, bringing you professional support from licensed therapists and psychiatry providers that you can access anytime, anywhere.
Living a busy life, navigating a long-distance relationship, becoming a first-step father, Talkspace made all of those journeys possible. I could speak with my therapist in the office. I could speak with my therapist in the comfort of my home. I was never alone.
Talkspace works with most major insurers, and most insured members have a $0 copay. No insurance, no problem. Now get $80 off your first month with promo code SPACE80 when you go to Talkspace.com. Match with a licensed therapist today at Talkspace.com. Save $80 with code SPACE80 at Talkspace.com.
Now, Gordy Kosfeld out here at J-Mo's Bowl, where you always strike a great meal. Royal not able to join me today, but I think he'll be back next week. I know I just talked to Ryan here at J-Mo's Bowl about their Valentine's date night. Enjoy a romantic night filled with chocolate and roses, right? What ladies don't like chocolate and roses? Every meal comes with a glass of wine. You have to be 21 or older, obviously, to have that. They are going to have a 16-ounce prime rib, roasted potatoes, a veggie and dinner roll. It's $29.95. That's a great deal. And you want to call for reservations. I guarantee they'll be booked here at 1802 4th Street Northwest. That's where J-Mo's Bowl is located. Tomorrow morning, by the way, there's a pancake breakfast over at the Moose, which is right next to J-Mo's Bowl, for the Faribault Football Association, the Faribault football team, the Falcon football team, and I'm sure many of the football players will be working at it at the Moose tomorrow. I'm going to grab my phone here, and because I do have a flyer that the coach sent me, if I can just find it, that's the question. Here we go. They don't have a cost on here. They will take cash or checks. Come hungry. The Faribault Falcon Football Pancake Breakfast Fundraiser takes place from 8 until 11:30 in the morning tomorrow, Sunday, tomorrow, sponsored by Moose Lodge number 2098 at 1810 4th Street Northwest. Again, that's right next door to the J-Mo's Bowl right here in Faribault, right next door. So they wanted to thank everybody in advance for their support. Get on out there, support the Faribault Falcon football team, and enjoy some delicious pancakes. Speaking of pancakes, next Sunday, February the 1st, yours truly will be flipping pancakes for the Faribault Lions Club. We have our annual pancake and sausage feast. Now, it used to be in conjunction with the big game, right? It started when the first Super Bowl started, way back when. And they're at number 59, I do believe. They didn't count the COVID year because we didn't have one the COVID year. Myself, I would have counted it anyway, which would have made this like the Super Bowl the 60th, but I'm just one lion among many. And they're much smarter than I am. So anyway, that is coming up next Sunday morning over at the American Legion is where we're having it this year. Valentine's date night, of course, is on Valentine's, which is a Saturday this year here at J-Mo's Bowl, where you always strike a great meal. Again, it'll be a romantic night filled with chocolate and roses, and every meal comes with a glass of wine. You have to be 21 or older, obviously, to enjoy that. A 16-ounce prime rib is on the menu, along with roasted potatoes, a veggie, and a dinner roll for $29.95. Call for your reservations, okay, here at J-Mo's Bowl. I don't have a phone number here. I'll have to look it up. Shane Gunderson just popped in the door. He looks like he's not frozen anyway. Are you cold, Shane?
Very. Yeah, it's a little chilly out there.
I got a feeling you're not going to be working the hockey game tonight.
Yeah, I probably will be there at some point.
The Falcons are hosting Winona, if I remember right.
Yep, that's correct.
And originally, I thought I misread your website. I thought it said St. Thomas College was hosting, but that must
the girls were going to play at St. Thomas, but they've their schedule they have, because we're in Waseca's conference. There are some games that we have to make up that we've missed, so we had to postpone some of those, so we weren't playing back to back to back to back. So yeah, they are not playing there tonight. At least I don't think so.
Educate us on that co-op, will you?
Yeah, we have our girls hockey. We have an 8-team co-op, and I'm sure I'll miss somebody, but it's Faribault, Waseca, Bethlehem Academy, Waterville, Legion, Morristown, Janesville, Waldorf, Pemberton, Medford, Randolph, and one more school.
New Richland, Heartland,
yes, thank you. Yes, correct.
I was just thinking of what's around the area.
Yep. Yeah, so.
And that's working well?
Yeah, it's going well. It's a little bit difficult to train. So what we've done is we practice a week in Faribault, we practice a week in Waseca, and then I think we've had 4 girls hockey games at our place, and then the rest will be over at Waseca. So it's been a good it's been a good fit for us. Numbers wise, we're not at a place where we could sustain it by ourselves. So it's been very helpful for us to have that as an option.
Well, we could, but I don't necessarily want to get into that. Sustain it ourselves.
Right.
I did a game last week in Northfield, and I think you know where I was going to go with that.
Yep.
But I won't. So, we're, midway through the winter season?
Yeah, probably pretty close. Maybe a little past it. I think we're probably... boys and girls basketball, we're probably 16 games in. And
they play 26?
26, right? Yep, that's correct.
Got your counterpart from PA over here, too. You guys visit once in a while, the ADs for most schools?
I think we're both pretty busy. I mean, we do occasionally chat, and it's usually when I need something or Ed needs something, yeah.
Does your league set up officials, or how does that work?
We have an assigner. It depends on the sport. For the most part, we send our schedules in, and they have an assigner that does everything.
Okay. So you don't need to do that.
I don't have to find officials. So.
Well, that's got to be cool. You got the same deal, Ed?
Yeah, I mean, we work sometimes with the Rochester Officials Association for a number of our events, and then there's also some other officials that I reach out to directly. But yeah, I mean, today's high school athletics world, you're really relying on working, with the Officials Association, just because, officials there's a shortage of officials, so you got to really work with those associations.
Okay, but it's not just basketball for you. You got hockey, you've got gymnastics, you've got all kinds of things. Is all that the judges for gymnastics and that taken care of too?
Yep. I send schedules to our assigner usually. So, like in the fall, I send them in August or beginning of August. Usually, I'm getting schedules out for winter sports in October. And then spring sports, I just got an email. Baseball signers want their schedules. Softball signers want theirs. So.
Isn't that interesting?
Now, if you want a track starter, you have to get them a year in advance.
A year in advance?
Oh, yeah. That's a very limited, very specialized official for track. So usually I have those in July.
Okay. See, there's a lot more to this than meets the eye, folks. Your gymnastics team, I don't get to get updated because they're usually on a meet on Saturdays.
Yep.
So how are they doing?
It's been a very good year. If you remember last year we had 4 gymnasts. This year we're up to 10.
Cool.
They've been having a really good year. Grace Porter joined this year from Shattuck. She's really good track and field. And she's an amazing gymnast. I think she's been first or second in every event. Scores 35 or higher.
Wow.
Yeah, very, very good.
So she could be in the state tournament.
There's a distinct possibility that she'll end up as a state gymnast. But I was over in Mankato. My daughter obviously is a gymnast, so I'm over in Mankato watching, and Grace did a double back on the floor. It was just outrageous. It was incredible. So really fun to watch.
The place went nuts.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. So Larissa does a really nice job, and Tom Smith used to be the Owatonna coach, won a number of state titles over there. Does an amazing job helping her too. So they're in good hands.
Boys swimming and diving, are the numbers getting back here?
Still could use some more numbers, but again, Charlie does a great job with those kids, and of course, Asher Ferris is a very good diver, and he's we're hoping another state tournament run for him.
He always has good divers.
Yes, yep. He does a nice job. So
Charlie, very good diving coach.
Been doing it for a few years. We'll just say that.
He's a veteran.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, very
the
much.
boys team, the girls team, they're both sitting in the middle of the pack of the Big Nine or toward the upper echelon of the Big Nine.
Yeah, for basketball?
Yep.
The boys are starting to come around. I think it took them a while to kind of figure out, they lost 3 guards, 3 really good basketball players from last year's team, and it just took them a little bit to kind of figure out how they were going to fit together. And, of course you got Brewer and Ryan, so that's helped. The more games they played, they keep getting better. And again, Eric does a great job, and his whole staff.
Yep.
I think they're 8-8, I want to say, I think overall. So they're about 16 games in, about 10 left. So, looking for them to, kind of turn it on at the end of the year.
Well, I would say that the favorite in that section now would be Northfield.
Yep. Yeah, I would say if, we're going to be kind of in the middle, and Northfield will be the team to beat. I don't think we played well the first time we played Byron, but had a nice win at Stewartville.
Yes, you did. That was fun to watch.
Yep. I think they'll make a nice run at the end of the year. So.
Well, let's hope so.
Yeah.
And the girls?
Girls 9-8. Just had a kind of a busy weekend. They played Thursday, Friday, a couple days off, then went Monday, Tuesday, went up to Providence Academy. And
I didn't understand that one, to be honest. Why would you want to play a team like that?
You have to play a team.
They're so good.
Yeah, but you got to play. You have to play good teams in order to see how you measure up, and you got to learn stuff. I mean, there's nothing wrong with losing, but you have to take things away from games, and it was a chance for our girls to see the top team probably in the entire state.
Absolutely.
And the Maddie Greenway is better than advertised. I mean, she is fast. She is quick. She is an amazing shooter. Like I said, as good as advertised. But not only that, she's got a pretty good supporting cast.
Oh, yeah.
One of the girls, and I can't remember her name, in the first half was 6 for 6 from 3. I mean, she didn't miss.
She's got a little sister that's pretty good.
And her little sister was good. I think her little sister had a career high against us, just as fast as her older sister, and just as good a shooter. So yeah, I mean, it was I think a good experience for our girls, because you got to see it. I mean, if your goal is to keep improving and get better and have a chance to go to state yourself, you got to play really, really good teams to see how you measure up. So,
all right.
You don't agree with that?
Well, 55-point loss. I don't know what you gain from it, to be honest, but that's just my own opinion.
Mm-hmm. I always go back to, I think of Jesse Armbruster, who had some amazing wrestling teams and softball state championship. His is, when you create a schedule, 25% of those teams that you play need to be better than you 25% of the teams that you play, you need to just be able to walk in the gym and win the game. And the other 50% you want to be, pretty similar in ability.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
so
I would definitely agree with that. Let's see, what else do we cover?
We got dances in Mounds View today, and we will be hosting the section dance February 7th.
I bet you're going to enjoy that.
And they've had a good year. They again, small numbers, but the coaching staff's doing a nice job. They'll hopefully be ready by February 7th. So.
That's the section. The state's always around Valentine's.
Yep. So February 7th, we'll start at 11. I think dances start at 11 a.m. in Nomeland Gymnasium. So
now you guys co-op with BA and a lot of stuff.
18, I think, off the top of my head.
I've never counted.
Does that sound about right?
Yeah, and I suppose when you
boys and girls trade.
count boys and count girls, it is up there.
I did your boys hockey game over in Austin earlier this week. They were up 1-0 after the first period. I thought, all right. And then a 6-goal second period by Austin. But you have a freshman goalie. There's one.
Yep.
He's learning he's got to have pucks in his sleep every night.
Yeah.
They're at 54 shots on goal. He needs a little more help back
Yeah.
there.
Well, and again, I think numbers,
Right. They only have maybe 2 lines. Austin had 4.
Yep. But again, they do a great job. They play hard. And Tommy Kunze's an incredible athlete.
He's fun to watch.
Yeah, puck just seems to stick to his stick. He never loses it very far away.
Wherever he was, they had 2 or 3 guys around.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. 3 points away from the all-points record at Faribault High School.
Yep.
He's already set the goals record.
Yep.
And as I understand it, a really nice young man.
Yeah. Yep. He's a BA. I can't speak to how he is in the classroom, but he's family's great. He's great. He's great with the kids and a really, really good leader.
No, he's playing defense this year. I don't think he played defense his whole career. And so he obviously isn't. He's back at the blue line, kind of running the show, as opposed to attacking the net, although he did do that a couple of times the other night.
Yep. It's fun to watch him take the puck from behind the net and go around, skate around 5 guys and score a goal. So, yeah, it's
Are the numbers going to come up there, too, in the boys'
I think we, in youth program, we have some pretty good numbers. We're trying to sustain this for a couple of years until we've got some younger kids coming through, bigger groups of kids coming through.
Well, I'm asked all the time, Shane, so I'm going to ask you. You ever see the girls program coming back?
Again.
I mean, a Faribault.
Well, again, I think we'd have to have a big influx of girls. I'm always willing to have that conversation, but we want to make sure that before we do that we have that feeder program that's going to continue it. We don't want to do it, bring it back, and then not have the ability to sustain it and then have to go looking again. So yeah, I think.
There's a youth team now that's combined Northfield Faribault, right?
Yep.
They call themselves Rice County something or other?
Yeah, could be.
Okay.
I can't think of the name. But yeah.
How's your softball team going to be? Or you're even thinking about that now?
I'm not there yet.
Do you guys get to go south? I thought the high school made a change on that a number of years ago, right?
Well, there's some limitations if you go south.
Yeah.
Who you can play and who you can't play, and whether you can scrimmage teams and stuff like that. So,
because I seem to recall the Falcon baseball team. I don't know if it was when you were a kid, but they used to go to Florida all the time.
Yep. Yeah, and I think the high school leagues put some kind of limitations on that stuff.
Yep. Well, some schools can't afford it.
Right.
And other schools can. So I'm sure that's why they decided to go that route. You got a note there? What did you want to...
Yeah, the only other thing that I didn't talk about today was wrestling.
I forgot to mention. But I know their numbers are down. That's right.
Yeah, numbers are down, but and it's we got a new head coach this year, Jesse. retired. So Jake Stallo and Brad Babcock has been, a co-head coach for a long time, and they do a nice job. And same thing, we need more kids. I could say that probably about pretty much everything. We just but participation numbers are down.
Is that
kind of all over the board?
Okay, I was just going to ask if it's statewide.
It's statewide. Yeah, there's a lot of schools in the same boat as we are. So, and I don't think anybody really knows why. I mean, there's just a push and.
Yeah, I mean,
what's your theory, Ed?
Well, I think there's all kinds of different factors. I think. Look at high school kids, 5 years ago we were dealing with COVID, right? And so maybe they weren't in every sport like they might have been had they, if everything was normal when they were in 7th grade and 8th grade. So that might be a factor. Sometimes specialization in a sport is a factor. Making money to pay for college might be a factor. There's just all kinds of, different factors. And then I think there's also factors with each community that might influence, what sports, their kids are interested in and so on. So like in Section 1A, Lyle Pacelli doesn't have a girls basketball program this year for the high school. Cannon Falls, ended up co-oping with Randolph for girls basketball.
Medford doesn't have a girls, right?
Medford is not playing varsity. We're struggling, in that regard too, where, there's some nights that we're able to play varsity and JV and other nights that, we're only able to play varsity. And some of that is just high school league with adding 9th grade to the bylaws. They put we can't have like an 8th grader play both JV and 8th grade now this year. So that hurts a lot of the small schools. So you're either a high school athlete or not a high school athlete. And so
you can't bring them up, you're saying?
You can bring them up, but if you move them back down, you can't bring them back up again.
Oh, okay.
So that hurts, I think, a lot of the small schools, because you might have, like with basketball, 3 halves, you might have done something with a 8th grader or a 7th grader as far as being able to play that JV team and, a middle school game on that same night. And now you just can't do that.
Your guys are much improved.
We're improved. In our season, speaking as a mathematician, it's kind of like a sine curve. We've had ups, we've had downs, we've had ups. And that's part of that learning process. Last year we were awfully young. This year we're, a year older, obviously, but also, a little bit stronger, a little bit bigger. But we're still probably working on mental aspects of the game and that's, talking about, the girls playing Providence Academy, that's kind of where we're at here when we're playing these better teams, the mental part of being able to play those teams.
Takes more concentration.
Takes more concentration. Sometimes, if you start watching the scoreboard maybe and you see, we're down 6 or we're down 7 or whatever, and now, people start shooting quicker because we're falling behind or we're going to run out of time. And maybe that isn't necessarily, sometimes you just have to weather, a little bit of those things and just, stay patient, get your, make it an efficient possession where you score versus, maybe you're taking a shot with 28 seconds on the shot clock and you don't get the rebound. And so now, you're giving them another opportunity to go down and score. And those are the situations where then you start feeling the fatigue. I've never seen a team that is doing well get tired, but I see teams when they're struggling get really tired, right? And that's just with the adrenaline factor.
You got your snowball dance tonight.
We got snowball tonight, yeah. So, talking about Tommy Kunze and what kind of kid he is, anticipating that yesterday was going to be a no school day, we moved our snowball Friday afternoon activities to Thursday afternoon, and part of those activities, Tommy was the MC. I mean, he's a good kid. So he's the type of kid that you like to clone and keep around for a while.
Unfortunately, he's a senior.
Exactly. That's like I said. If we could clone him, we would.
I'm sure the hockey program would love it too.
Yeah, well, we all would like him. I'd take him in basketball if he wasn't playing hockey.
He's an athlete.
He's an athlete. Yeah.
Yep. Played quarterback in football.
Just a very good all-around athlete.
And then, of course, you guys had 9-man this year, so there was some adjustment there. Obviously, it's a different. People say it's the same game. It's got tackling and all, and it is.
Yep.
But
you still got to tackle. You still got to block.
Yep.
But it's more wide open.
Yes.
Yep, definitely.
You got a lot more cover. You know what I mean?
Yep. And it's a fun game to watch. That's for sure. But it was fun.
I did some 8-man football in Nebraska.
You played or just by radio broadcasting?
Broadcast.
Oh.
And that was very interesting. Talk about wide open.
Yep. And that's, and I think that's what the deaf school, when they've played their games, they're playing 8-man, I think, a lot of times here now. It's kind of like, everybody in the summer does, the 7-on-7 passing leagues. And that's really kind of what 9-man and 8-man football ends up being. It's kind of like your 7-on-7 passing league, but
didn't even have that when I was a kid.
Yeah, there's a lot of summer stuff that didn't exist way back.
Shane, was there 7-on-7 when you played? No. You didn't have it either. So it's been since then.
Yeah, I don't know. Probably in the last 25 years or so, as summer programming started to expand.
Right. And that's another issue when it comes to numbers of kids. You mentioned the specialization, Ed, and every college coach I ever talked to, and I'm talking Division I volleyball coaches when I used to do volleyball for the Gophers on the Internet, Coach Hebert, for example, said, I intentionally recruit multi-sport athletes. I want people who can compete.
So there was a stat that came out, I don't know if it was a couple years ago or whatever, of the NFL draft. And the number of kids in that first round that were 3-sport athletes, it was probably close to 90% of them were all 3-sport athletes. And it's a different animal now with the amount of clubs and all sorts of stuff that are available. And, if you wanted to play volleyball year-round, you can. If you want to play softball year-round, you can. If you want to play basketball year-round, you can. And so kids, it's probably, and I don't know, Ed talked about it, it's probably another reason why, we don't have the 3-sport athletes is because they can do those things. That our numbers are down because we're missing, kids are playing 2 sports or 1 sport as opposed to all 3 sports. And so, my daughter's guilty of it. She wanted to play softball this fall and didn't play volleyball and played 45 softball games this fall. So,
but she wants to play college softball.
She wants to play college softball, and she still plays basketball. And I think she's going to try and do something again this fall. She talked about tennis. She talked about cross country and maybe playing volleyball. But again, she still wants to play her 45 games, and that'll put stress on, the coaching staff, and it's hard.
But the tennis would really help her with footwork and softball, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see how much Dad can convince her of that. So.
Tonight, 7:15 is the drop of the puck.
Yep, 7:15
on this Hockey Day, Minnesota. I have a girls' game this afternoon on KDHL. Owatonna is in Rochester to play Century JM, and we're doing that game this afternoon as part of Hockey Day, Minnesota. Only because I can't climb your ladder in the Faribault Ice Arena because it's flush with a wall with my bad foot, so I can't do it. Otherwise, I would. Thanks, Shane.
Yep. Thank you.
El invierno es la época perfecta para explorar California, y nada mejor que hacerlo en un nuevo híbrido Toyota. con 19 vehículos de consumo eficiente como el elegante Camry híbrido, la RAV4 Hybrid, lista para la aventura, o la Tacoma híbrida. Toyota tiene el vehículo perfecto para cualquier aventura. Todos los Toyota nuevos incluyen Toyota Care, un plan de mantenimiento gratuito de 2 años, una garantía exclusiva para la batería híbrida y la legendaria calidad y confiabilidad de Toyota. Prueba uno ya en tu concesionario Toyota local. Ahí estarás preparado para ir a donde quieras este invierno. Toyota, vayamos juntos. Consulta tu concesionario Toyota local para más información sobre la garantía de la batería híbrida.